99.7 DJX, the Ben Davis and Kelly K Show podcast. Turn it up. On demand.
You know, sometimes you just need the opinion of someone else, and that's where Kelly and I come in. You shoot us a message, we'll toss it out to, our listeners and, maybe get some unbiased opinions on the situation that you're dealing with. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, guys.
So thanks, first of all, for allowing us to contact you on this. Will you walk us through what you sent us?
Yeah, definitely. So I need a little bit of help. I kind of just wanted your take on this.
Mm-hmm.
So my husband and I, we're both in our early 30s, and after college, we both moved here to Louisville for a job opportunity.
Yeah.
And both our parents, we live a couple hours away, and we've both really enjoyed this space, which is great.
Right.
And the good news is, it is good news. His parents have decided to move not only to Louisville, but have also bought a house in our neighborhood.
Ah, good news.
Yeah, so it's great, but, we don't have kids yet, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing them more. I'm just not sure how I'm going to handle their stopping by and their dropping in.
Oh, yeah. If you had kids, it might be a little bit different. You could have them watch the kids or whatever, but yeah, you're not there yet.
Exactly. And actually, there's already a little bit of tension between his mother and I, just simply over the fact that we don't have kids yet, and trust me, I'm in no hurry.
Oh, okay. Right.
And I feel like the listeners are going to be like, girl, you're being petty and selfish, but I don't care. Is it really too much for me to ask them to call before they come over?
Uh-huh.
I mean, I just don't think I can handle them stopping by all the time. It feels like it's going to be a bit much.
Right. I get the fact that, especially if you don't have kids, having that space of you and your husband just to be a couple and everything without the parents kind of literally in your backyard is convenient. But I tell you what, we got a lot of people texting in already. So if you want to hang out, maybe we can steer you in that right direction, okay?
Yeah, please. I need some assistance.
I mean, how do you, write up you can't write up a contract. You can't say, listen, you're only going to be able to be allowed to come over if you call first. I don't know. It's just a weird situation, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if there is a really good way to bring up with your in-laws, like a list of rules.
Right.
Or, setting ground rules for living next to each other in the same neighborhood. I don't know how that's going to go. And I get that feels like there's already some tension because she is taking her time having kids and
Sure.
They want to be grandparents, now. But, I feel like
Right.
this is going to have to be a thing that comes up organically. Like if the mother-in-law stops by unannounced a couple of times, maybe that's when you bring it up. But I don't think before they even get there that you say, hey, welcome to the neighborhood. Here's the thing. Don't just come over whenever you want.
All right. Well, let's toss it out. 502-571-9970 and see what you have to think, see what you have to say here on DJX. Message from a listener followed up and talked to her on the phone. She's like, yeah, you know what? We moved here to Louisville and, after college, been here a while. We're in our early 30s now and parents live a couple hours away. And it's good news. They're moving to Louisville too, into our neighborhood. And I'm like, I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or not because they don't have kids and everything. So she's kind of
there's already tension with
Yeah.
the mother-in-law about the fact that she wants to wait to have kids a little bit. And mother-in-law is all like, wants to be a grandparent right now. So there's kind of already that underlying situation at play.
Right.
So they're just kind of concerned about, what that situation is going to lead to. If it's going to get more awkward, got a text. That's what the Ring doorbell is great for.
The Ring doorbell.
Let's pretend we're not home.
Hey, everybody, turn off the lights. They're coming up the walk.
Yeah, and then Matt said, please call ahead. I like to walk around the house in my birthday suit. Also, another way you can...
So,
Gonna
yeah.
broke it?
I remember, I mean, that's a real issue. And look, your father-in-law catches you walking around naked for the first time. I mean, that's
jarring.
I'm speaking from experience. Knowing that's something that is not going to happen again. And there's going to be knocks, there's going to be calls, there's going to be texts of, hey,
listen,
can we stop by?
You should really put a sign up on your door, especially for like delivery people, because that's also happening.
I know. Todd had texted and said, "This is a dumb situation. Stop it before it happens. Tell your husband to set ground rules and about stopping by unannounced. Then be happy you have some family in the same area." All right.
Okay, that is really good. Ashley says it's perfectly acceptable to give ground rules. Don't show up without warning. I do this with everyone, my parents included. And then Mike has said, had the same in-law problem. Get it out in the open and set the rules, because the visits became in the morning and then morning and early evening and then all day on Saturday. And now we don't speak, period.
Oh, but they just love you, Mike. They love you so much.
Wow. That's
all right.
A lot.
I want to get to a text from Kim coming up here in just a sec. Also, Andrew the Love Doctor's been waiting patiently on hold. He's got some advice for our listener coming up next. All right, just a couple more comments on this whole group therapy here on 99.7 DJX, and then we'll move on. But listener who had been living 2 hours away from her parents and the in-laws now have her in-laws moving into the same neighborhood as she, and there's a little bit of tension around the fact that they're in their early 30s and the heat's on for them to produce a grandchild. And so she's like, I just don't want there to be more awkwardness.
And them just showing up unannounced all the time. And I suggested, I feel like this is a situation where you just have to, if they start to show up unannounced a lot and it's getting out of control, that's when you address it. I don't think before they even move in, you're like, hey, welcome to the neighborhood, but let's not just stop over anytime.
Karen on Facebook says, this is my nightmare.
Wow.
She says, I love my family, but I live on my own for a reason. Thankfully, my two siblings who actually live close understand, but my mom and other sisters are, quote, drive an hour out of our way and just stop by kind of people. If you don't call, I'm not home.
Wow.
Melissa, she texted in and said, I don't think it'll be as bad as she thinks. My mom and my in-laws live in my subdivision, and it's not an issue. We occasionally drop in on each other, but most times we just text before we visit. And then we get to a text from Kim who says, my parents live around the corner from my house. They would pop by a few times a week. A few times we were actually making sandwiches, which is, our code word for adult time. When we know kids are listening.
Special time.
Yeah.
Special time without clothing.
Right,
Okay.
right, exactly. And she said, I asked my mom, could they give us a heads up? We're newlyweds, right? Let's, give us a heads up on this.
Oh, there you go.
Stop
there
by.
You go. The newlyweds, they get it. All you have to say is we're newlyweds.
All right, I know
Wink,
he's been waiting on hold very patiently. Andrew the Love Doctor always calls in with his advice. Yeah, what do you think, man?
Hey, listen, a couple things with this. First off, this woman is spot on. With as far as the in-laws moving in, there's got to be some ground rules set. If mom or dad starts popping over unexpectedly, it's a conversation that they need to have right out of the gate if it happens. Don't set them before they come in, obviously, but if it happens, they just need to know. You have to have your own space. She's spot on about that. It's your life. You got to live it, right?
Yeah.
No questions asked. Second thing is a little bit of tension about having kids. You know what? It's their life. It's not their grandparents' life. They got to do what they need to do. If they're enjoying themselves and living life and living the kind of life they want to at this time, you do you, right?
Right.
You just got to make sure that you do what you do to enjoy yourself. You can't do things based on how somebody else feels, because that's not living your life in the best way you possibly can. So if it gets to the point to where it's an issue, then her husband has to have a conversation with his mother and tell her to knock it off.
Gotcha.
It's got to be done, dude.
Thank you, buddy.
Keep on loving, brother.
All right, there you go.
Yeah,
So,
100%. I think it's his parents, so I think he should probably take the lead on any conversations like that. And like you said, wait until the opportunity presents itself. Like if it becomes a problem, it may not even be an issue. I think she's worrying about something that hasn't happened yet.
yeah, I mean, and someone did bring up the fact is her husband feel the same way. I don't know. She didn't dive into that. It sounds like maybe they're on the same page somewhat. Otherwise, she wouldn't even be, talking to us. So, all right. If you missed your opportunity to chime in, but you got something really cool to say, just jump on our Facebook page at Ben and Kelly Show. You can always leave it there. So I think what we're saying is what, Kelly?
I think we just, pump the brakes and stop the worrying. If it happens, if they start just showing up, that's when you address it. But I feel like, the husband has to take the lead because it's his parents, and I think there's a delicate way to approach it.
All right.
And kind of set the rules at that point. But I don't think that we jump to conclusions until there is a need.
All right, there you go. You wanted it, you got it.
Done and done.
Done and done. That's our advice on group therapy.